I sometimes just love and sit here in cemeteries and talk to people about my life. It makes my struggles seem less serious if I know that there's people who actually have gone through life and who experienced all of it and have had their life end. I don't know the circumstances of their life, how they lived, but all I know is that I'm surrounded by lots of people and they are dead. And so maybe they listen to me. Maybe they hear me talk about this. Take a deep breath in and out. Now let's go. Woo! I just pick a random grave where usually it's a woman I talk to, some nice woman, and this time I'm in Paris. And the story actually is that this guy I met on a dating app 1 month or 2 months ago when I was also in Paris. He said he could take me to the cemetery and we could just, I don't know, he will show the cemetery to me because the cemetery, there's actually quite a lot of tourists walking around, which is kind of strange because to me it has quite a lot of meaning to sit at a cemetery and to talk to strangers you've never talked before. You never will talk to, like, in real life. Like, it's not that they are going to show up on the streets and just chat you up or engage in small talk. So I don't know, it does feel a little weird to have like a lot of tourists here, but then again, that's what I am a tourist as well. But I just, every time I'm sad or every time I feel lost, I feel like I go to a cemetery and just talk it through with a random dead person. And I really am glad that I'm alone here, because if I went with this guy that I now ghosted, I think we probably would have talked and that would have destroyed the atmosphere of the cemetery, because to me cemeteries, they're about being silent, just being with yourself and maybe thinking about your life and thinking about the lives of the people who have died and who are right in front of you but also not right in front of you. One time I did this, it was in Berlin. I actually wanted to go to a cemetery with a friend of mine because she suggested this to me, just talk to dead people. And so at first I was like, oh, that sounds I mean, I've never heard anything like that before, and then I was like, why not? And then something happened, maybe a paranormal activity when we went to the graveyard. So she saw this dark figure. It was night because we went there at night, and she saw this dark figure and thought that, maybe it was some paranormal activity going on. I personally didn't see it, but she saw it, so that's why we left the cemetery that time. And a couple of days later, I went to a cemetery, but by day, and I just talked to this nice lady. I told her a little bit about my life, and it was very peaceful. It was on Mother's Day. I remember that because afterwards I sent this message to my mom saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm at a cemetery right now. Happy Mother's Day." And I thought that was funny. I really did think it was funny. I think right now I'm feeling kind of weird. I'm in Paris with my family, and my family sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. This door is meant to symbolize that there's a pathway between life and death. One of my worst fears while I do this activity is just people walking up to the grave I'm sitting by and then being like, "Who are you?" Because sometimes people come to mourn their family members, so it would be kind of strange if I was just sitting there. But then again, I mean, they couldn't blame me, right? Because it's not a forbidden thing. And yeah. So the thing is, with my family and also being away from uni, it feels strange, almost like a dream. Because at uni I always have my strict environment. Okay, I have classes, I study a lot. I've just been thinking about the future a lot because, I ghosted this one guy on from Tinder. I ghosted him on WhatsApp because I thought, oh, okay. Because, see, yesterday I didn't have a lot of energy to meet up with anybody, and also I was kind of scared, and I was just feeling numb, and my energy felt off. I didn't have energy, and I told myself, why would you meet up with this guy? Of course, it's an experience, but maybe nothing will come of it. and I don't know if I want something to come off of it, because I live in Berlin and I do think that I deserve my first relationship to not be long distance. And also, I don't know, I just felt strange and not in the right headspace, so I sent him this message and then I blocked him. I don't know if that was the right decision, but then again, I'm just ruminating on something that wasn't even important to begin with. So I feel weird about that. And also, well, recently I've lost a really good friend of mine. It's weird because I'm sitting right in front of multiple graves, and behind me are graves as well. And maybe the people are like, dude, no, you haven't lost them. They're still alive, and that's why it's weird. My ex best friend is still alive, and I don't think we were really matching. Maybe, I mean, if she could do this to me, if she could not, like, she didn't even attempt to work through the struggles with me. She just said, no, sorry, I can't do this, whatever. Which is interesting. I don't know. And also I met up with some other people to find new friends on this app called Bumble for Friends, and I do feel like there's a lot of people who've been hurt in love and who just want to find somebody else, but maybe they aren't ready for romance yet, and so they just look for friends. So I met up with this girl and we really clicked. Actually, she was really nice. We actually had the same primary school teacher. It was so funny because Berlin is big city and we met up in the city center, and we are both from the south of Berlin, the very south, this random school that we went to, and we didn't know that about each other before because now I live in the center city. Anyway, we met up and she was really nice and we really had the same humor, and she'd just been through a messy breakup. She's still seeing the guy though, and now she sent me this text saying that she doesn't have a lot of energy and that that's not the best base for building a friendship. And I agree, and I appreciate her being honest with me, but at the same time, I don't know, I just feel sad. And I don't know, I didn't really know her, but what I knew of her— ew, that's a spider. Don't crawl on my phone, okay? No, it didn't. Okay, never mind. That has made me think. So people just leave from your life, and that is very scary to me because I know what it feels like to be left alone. I mean, there's certain kinds of being left, I guess. You can be left alone as a child, you can be left alone for days, for hours, for minutes, and it can still be catastrophic because as a child, when somebody leaves, it's just— I think at a certain point a child has to learn, okay, even if I don't see a certain person, they're still there. And some people never really learn that, and I struggle with that. I struggle with the thought of, oh, okay, I do have friends, or I had this friend and now she doesn't want to hang with me anymore. She doesn't want to talk to me anymore. We're just two people after all who don't speak to each other. It is a very, very strange concept. And I feel like being at the cemetery, talking to people about it, just feels really reassuring because surely in their life they have made lots of experiences and maybe they can give me some strength and some way. You see, when I told my sisters that I was going to a cemetery, my sister looked at me very weirdly, but she's 14 right now, and I do things she does, as in mock my YouTube videos, mock me in general, makes me feel kind of weird because I want the people close to me to like me, and if it feels like she doesn't like me, that's strange and sad to me. And so that's just what's been going through my mind. My relationships, this one girl who doesn't have time for me, and this friend that has left me because she just couldn't be friends, and it was also abrupt, and things happen and you can't really control them. And I think that's what's beautiful about life. I don't know, I guess what really I'm doing at the cemetery is trying to find meaning for my life, and I try to just sit here and be like, oh, okay, so I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and then I have the reassurance of a lot of people listening to me, just listening to me talk and not interfere with my thoughts. Because a lot of people I meet, they are very full of energy. They just talk and talk and talk, small talk, whatever. Sometimes deep talk. And I feel like a lot of people expect stuff from you. I mean, obviously, if you are in a relationship of any kind with them, but people who are dead, they don't. They really don't. And I kind of wonder if it's a disrespect in any way to be filming this at a cemetery. I don't know. I just felt like sharing this. It's not about. I'm always scared of doing something wrong. Really, that's another big thing. I think I should just stop. I mean, I'm stopping right now by filming this video, and why would anybody judge me for it if I am enjoying myself? And I am, and I don't know what the meaning of life is. I guess I'm just hanging by a thread. I mean, not a thread, I don't know. Maybe this YouTube channel, it's supposed to give meaning to me, to my life. Because, you know, I post at certain times of the day, and then I go on with my day, and then I edit a video, and that makes me happy to just have this way of expressing myself. And I do like that about going to cemeteries too. I can just express myself freely without anybody being weird, anybody even giving the remote reaction, because nobody gives me a reaction here, which is good, which really is good. And I think if cemeteries are one thing, they're just meant to be a celebration of life. And I just saw this group of random American tourists walking around here, which is strange because they come here in groups, and I feel like when you go to a cemetery, you should be alone and you should be quiet, and you should, I don't know. I mean, I guess if there's a funeral, which I don't know if here they do funerals anymore, because there's a lot of graves, and I don't know if they would have space. I mean, they could put a grave right here where I'm sitting. I'm not sitting on a grave, or kind of. I'm just sitting on grass, and I mean, I guess they could bury some more people there, but my point is just, it's kind of weird to, I mean, no, it's not weird. I don't think anything is weird. You can do whatever you want. Maybe just still be respectful of dead people, but if you want to go in a group, if that's what you want to do, then do that. But for me, going to a cemetery is about reflecting on life and just not caring about what other people think. And that was just my mood of the. Ew, no, a spider. No. Is it on my phone? No, it's not. Oh my god, that shocked me a lot, because there was this small spider just crawling on this gravestone, because I set up my camera on a gravestone. Why didn't I just like hold it like this? Would have been so much better. Also, I want to chop my hair because I feel like it's too long and it doesn't suit me anymore. Maybe like this. Maybe. Today I'm going back to Berlin, and it feels strange, but I still have a graveyard at Berlin where I can go to. I guess today has been kind of rough, kind of strange. But I'll just keep going, you know, I'll just keep going.